first time preaching in English. I think I'm stretching myself now. So hopefully it will be okay. And I want to talk with you about dreams and dreamers before you go home. But before I will get deeper in this subject, I want to ask you a question. What is the connection between Better Place, the economic crisis in Israel in the mid-80s, Israel aircraft industries, and the textile factory in Dimona? There is this connection between all of them. Think about it. We will come back in the end to discuss it. Now for dreams. I want to ask those of you who had dreams when you were a little kid, please raise your hand. Nice. Right. Now I want to ask those of you who still have a dream right now in this stage of life, please raise your hand. Nice. Very enthusiastic people. But unfortunately, at the second time, there were fewer hands in the air. And why is that? Why do dreams come from this to this? The answer is in our surrounding. Our surrounding believe that dreams are illusions. More than dreams, it's to be like a daydreamer. Not to think in a logic way, not to have some common sense, like to chase a dream. Come on, man, get some real job, be a lawyer. And this is what frustrating us. Most of us giving up the dreams and going to the ordinary life, not to try to fulfill them. Because of that, the second time, we're fewer hands in the air. But there are people who oppose those people who say then that they cannot dream. They fight for the dream, they try to live it, and they're fulfilling them. And those people, I'm calling the dreamers. And I want to present them to you. My first two dreamers is Albert Einstein and Steve Jobs. Einstein was a problematic student when he was at school. His teachers told him, Albert, you won't achieve anything in life. You will be a total failure. At the age of 12, he taught himself mathematics and physics and became one of the most great persons in the physics world. With his two great theories, one of them he got Nobel Prize. On the left, Steve Jobs, who at the age of 19 established his first company, made significant change in the market with Apple and the computers, but he got fired from his company that he established on his own. So he needed to establish two other companies because he kept his dream. He's a dreamer and is proceeding to dream during his life. The end was that Apple bought some of these companies and he got back to reclaim the title CEO. Michael Jordan loved basketball since he was a little kid. At the age of 16, he tried to get to the school team, but probably wasn't good enough, or his trainers thought he wasn't good enough. They told him, Michael, go home, you won't become a basketball player, we promise this to you. He went home and even cried. It was a very hard moment for him to think that he won't fulfill his dream. But as everyone knows who is Michael Jordan, the most great basketball player that ever played the game, eventually win 6-time championships and 5-time the title MVP. This is a player that everyone said that he won't be one. There's also Walt Disney, but we'll move on. Paulo Coelho, I hope I pronounced the name right. He wanted to be a writer from early age. His parents wanted him to be a lawyer. They met in the middle when they sent him to a mental hospital because they didn't want to become a lawyer. In the end, he listened to himself, became a writer, and one of his books got sold over 40 million copies all over the world. And those are the dreamers who listen to themselves, their inner voice, their heart. I don't care how you're going to call it. They knew that they're right, and they are the only people who know what the best for themselves and how to fulfill the dream. They didn't listen to the surrounding, and they kept fighting, they kept going. Because dreams is not easy to achieve without fighting. And those dreamers are even called by other name, entrepreneurs. And why is that? Because both of them work on the same pattern. And the pattern is to find something that you love. Most of them started from a very young age. They didn't listen to others that say that they will fail. They follow the passion, something that they love, and not something that they need to do. They all failed. They all got up from the failure, and eventually they all succeed. They have changed the world. The change was so huge that they changed the old world. That's because they wanted to dream and to fulfill this dream. Now, after you start to think, maybe what I'm saying may be right, maybe we should keep dreaming, you will say, those are huge people. They have ambition, they have great ideas. How we with our small dreams can come to this level? Maybe we can't. We have smaller dreams. And first, maybe you're right. And for this, I brought those dreams, much smaller, like to bake cookies, to sing rap, to be a dancer, to study math, to make pizza, to understand economics, play my guitar. Very modest dreams. And I want to show you those people who fulfill those dreams. In the center, Mrs. Debbie Fields. She wanted to bake cookies for a living. She loved to bake cookies from a very early age. Her parents thought it is a very stupid idea. Her husband said to her, it's a very stupid idea. Her friends told her, it's a very stupid idea. And every banker she met to get some money for this project told her, it's a very stupid idea. But she found a way to establish the first cookie store, and from this point, one cookie store enlarged to 1,000 and to $100 million in a bank account. Those are also two minor dreamers, but we'll continue on to my final example, to Gillian Lynn, at the age 8. She was a very problematic student. So her mother took her to a psychologist. So he will look at her and see what's wrong with my child. She's done studies. He said to her, let her go to dance. She will be a great dancer. She did it. She became a dancer. And she became one of the most influential choreographers in the world for making scenes like Phantom of the Opera. Before we come to Israel, those people, rather it's a small dream, it's a big dream, they did what they loved. The passion, the love, it was the fuel in the engine that kept them going on. And if earlier I told you that the people that are changing the world are entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are actually dreamers, now I'm telling you that every one of you can change the world. Because every one of you can dream. The question is, how far you're willing to take your dream from your mind to reality. How many times you're willing to fight for it until it becomes a reality. So, there are Israeli sides to everything, and I want to present you the greatest Israeli entrepreneur, the greatest Israeli dreamer that I'm sure that most of you, except one that I'm sure that you know who he is, but most of you will think a moment that he's an entrepreneur. You know him, but not as an entrepreneur. And I tell you that he's the greatest Israeli dreamer. It's not Step Wertheimer that have a lot of industries here in Israel, multi-billionaire. It's not Yossi Vardi, serial investor, who a lot of Israeli startups owe him their life because he is invested in them. It's not Avishai Avrami, co-founder and CEO of Wix, Israeli great startup. And it's not Noam Bardin, the CEO of Waze, 1 billion company that was sold a couple of months ago to Google. So, who is this dreamer that I'm talking about? This dreamer is the connection between the four of those things. The one that makes all these things to come true, and much more. And this is, yes, the President of Israel, Mr. Shimon Peres, is the greatest dreamer of our country. Why is that? Because he managed to bring together time after time after time after time people from different places, to inject in them the willing to make something great, to make better place, to establish some plan that will pull out Israel from the economic crisis, to start an industry of planes. Israel, the one little country in the Middle East with the strongest air force, is thanks to Shimon Peres. And finally, the textile factory that I don't know how he did it, but he did, and thanks to him. But like all those initiatives are like milestones during the way. They represent him and like his dreamer DNA, but his most greatest and inspiring initiative, a venture, is actually Israel. Is the last co-founder of the state, as known as the Startup Nation, that you heard about it a couple of times this week. Startup Nation, the place that inspires those entrepreneurs that I showed before, inspires them to start, to search for the dream, to search for the meaning of what they want to achieve or fulfill in life. And like Shimon Peres has in his DNA, also this nation has in this DNA. So while you're all here, whether if you live or you're passing by, you should know this is a good place to start a dream. So my question to you, if you know what is yours. Thank you very much.